Hi everybody. I thought I'd do another installment from our logbook today. This is the notes that I kept as we sailed from St. Helena to Ascension Island. Now both of these islands are very, very remote, dead in the middle of the South Atlantic Ocean. And just this was really the adventure of a lifetime. It was incredible. Hi Rocky, I can see you watching. Welcome, thanks for tuning in. Okay, so day one as we left St. Helena Island. Now day one, it says an uneventful first day. Up early, finishing washing and preparing the boat for sea. Went ashore to buy bread and last minute supplies and send emails. So back in those days, there was email. This was 2001, but not from our boat. So I had to go ashore and go to the library or probably that restaurant, Anne's Place, and use their computer to send an email. So back to the boat at 11ish, Justin packed the dinghy away, and then I remembered I hadn't phoned anyone in the family to tell them they were leaving, and I knew everyone would be worried. So I called up the ferry service on our new radio, because our radio broke on the last trip, untied mooring lines. So I went ashore, sent the emails, came back, and at 1:30 p.m. we left. First, we motored around the anchorage to say goodbye to all our other friends, all the other yachty friends. Out to sea in perfect conditions, sea flat, wind southeast, 10 to 20 knots, beautiful hot sunny day. Pasta for dinner and a great first night at sea with awesome stars. Oh, the stars out there in the middle of the ocean are something else. The boys had to alter course through the night to avoid a ship. Trying to get back into the rhythm of being at sea. We did 99 miles from noon till noon. Hey Lauren, how are you? Okay, day two at sea. Got our shifts set up nicely now. So we decided we were doing 2 hours on and 4 hours off at night. So you'd get a bit of a sleep, and 4 hours on, 8 hours off during the day, because there was 3 of us. Another lovely day in paradise. Spicy beans on rice for dinner. Not that great because I overdid it with the chilies. Justin's not sleeping yet, still waiting for trouble. Justin was always the worrier. I was like, oh, it'll be fine. Justin was always checking every cloud and worried. But conditions are too good to be true. 6 p.m. I just came on shift and there was this big splash and squeak behind us. What was that? Next thing, we are surrounded by dolphins, all showing off. Sunset in the background, a beautiful end to a great day. Dolphins stayed with us for about 1.5 hours. Awesome little guys. We are doing 4 to 4.5 knots and they are flying past us. Another night ahead. I hate being woken up. Tony, who was our self-steering, that was his name, we called him Tony. Tony is working like a dream. The boys have finally got it sussed out. It's going to be too easy if we don't have to helm. So we did 84 miles that day. Hey Mads, how's it going? Day 3. Started out with very light winds and crawling along at 2.5 to 3 knots. Oh, can you imagine doing all this time, thousands of miles at 3 knots? It's crazy. Sometime during the night, the wind picked up to 10 knots and we were coasting along doing 5 knots, much better. The sky was full of mare's tails. That's the shape of clouds that means there's wind coming. Thus telling us there was wind on the way, but not as threatening as when you see them down near Cape Point in South Africa. Justin having nervous breakdowns about the clouds. Does that look like a squall, Kimmo? Not sure why I am the expert. All these trade wind clouds look dark and more threatening at night. The sea picked up with it though and got a bit rolly, but nothing compared to the Cape. Also, I found some non-slip stuff I had stashed away months ago, so now operating in the galley requires much less swearing and tantrum throwing because the food isn't being thrown around. Justin cooked a delightful dinner of peas, baked beans, on a bed of smash. So it's not even real mashed potato. It's that packet mashed potato. It's horrible. I asked him if this was what I had to look forward to for the rest of my life. Otherwise, an uneventful day of sleeping, reading, crocheting, and looking out for ships and watching Tony, the self-steering thing, do his job. Yeah, I was into crochet. That's how I filled my boredom. Day 4, wind kept up all day and we made up some lost ground from yesterday. Boys caught 5 small Dorado mahi-mahi, none of which were big enough to keep, so Jeff cooked spaghetti bolognese based on soya mince. Ugh. Pretty good, but looking forward to some nice fresh fish after all the tuna. Oh, we ate a lot of tuna in St. Helena. We must have caught a lot of fish there. Saw another ship this afternoon. Justin called him up and he is en route to South America. Said we showed up nicely on his radar. Good to know. Came on to my midnight to 2 a.m. shift and was joined by the dolphins again for about 20 minutes. I think they are just giving me some company while I battle to keep my eyes open. 317 more miles to go to Ascension Island, past halfway and getting into the routine now. Sprouts are growing nicely and looking forward to eating something that's not out of a tin. Okay, day 5. Wind, southeast, 10 to 25, cloudy and squally looking, but no more than 6 drops of rain. Counting down now, only 2 more days until we can go to that American diner. There was an Air Force base in Ascension Island, and there's a diner. So for the last few days of this trip, we were daydreaming about hamburgers and Budweiser. Ship came up our stern tonight, couldn't make out what its course was. Me calling on the VHF radio and not getting any response. We had all the lights on and the sails lit up like a Christmas tree for the deck light, flares at the ready, stressing big time as it got closer. Finally, they called us up and it was the RMS St. Helena en route between St. Helena and Ascension Islands. They'll be passing us heading back the same way on Friday. I told them that we'd pop over for dinner and she said she'd throw us a line. Fantastic. Relief we showed up on their radar. They'd just seen us 7 miles back and they passed us 3 miles to starboard. Off to bed. An hour later, Justin calls from the cockpit. Kim, check it out, another light. So have to get up, back on the radio, got hold of the St. Helena again and they could see the light, but there was no other vessels on their radar. We're all confused. Half an hour later, they call back to tell us it was the moon setting. And then it says, ha ha, idiots. Hey, Kathy. Yeah, hamburgers and Budweiser. Oh, wow. That's not what we're getting here. No Budweiser. Okay. Day 6, we're getting there. Jeff, who was our crew member, is on shift this afternoon and Justin and I are trying to get some sleep. We're rolling around and wind is 20 knots. Can't alter course to run more with the swell as there are some sea mounts up ahead. Anyway, Jeff starts going, woohoo, woohoo, and Justin's big fishing reel is whizzing. He's out of bed in a flash and he had a big marlin on the line. I made it to the cockpit just in time to see it flying and jumping out of the water 80 metres off the back of our boat, but it cut the line with its sword and made off with one of our fancy fishing lures. Then we've had Dorado swimming alongside the boat just under the surface all afternoon. See, because the boat's out there in the middle of the ocean, a lot of the times the fish kind of hang underneath your boat as for protection. So that was like a tease because we couldn't catch them, but we could see them. Yeah, we've had... And Jeff is in a fishing frenzy. Otherwise, southeast winds 15 to 20, sailing along under poled out Genoa and rolling like crazy. Dinner by Justin was chili tuna noodle dish. Better than the last one. 8 p.m, just getting dark, saw light moving across the sky, too close to be a satellite and too far away for a plane. It must be a UFO. I baked a batch of scones for breakfast when I was on my shift this morning. The recipe called for sour cream, which I don't have, but I just put an extra egg and extra milk and baked them in the pressure cooker. We were all really impressed. They turned out really well. Okay, day 7. Wind continued steady, 10 to 15 knots. Rain squalls coming and going all night, but at least when we get them, there's more wind. Justin had a big take on his fishing rod last night, and there was much excitement as this fish put on a really good fight, but we knew it wasn't a marlin because there was no flying display. Ended up being a 10 kilogram tuna, and he was a bit disappointed, but it still gave us an hour of entertainment and a really good dinner. My 6 a.m. shift this morning, we could see the light of Ascension Island 25 miles ahead. By daylight at 7 a.m., it was land ahoy! We arrived in the anchorage at 2 p.m., exactly 7 days after leaving St. Helena. We were the only yacht there. Weather is rainy and windy and miserable, but humid, so we're getting up closer to the equator now. Went ashore and tracked down a policeman to give our passports to, but it's Saturday afternoon and the town is a ghost town. Hitched a ride to the US military base where there's a cafe that makes hamburgers we had heard about all the way back in Cape Town. Walking into that place was like stepping into everything that defines America. Burgers, fries, pizza, Budweiser, and after a week at sea, we went all out. We ordered everything on the menu. We were so hungry. Halfway through gorging ourselves, there's a phone call, and the phone rang behind the counter, and I saw the girl answer it, and then she looks over at me. The police had tracked us down and were telling us that we are not allowed on the island without insurance, because when you log in, when you check into the island, they wanted you to pay some $2 a day insurance or something. And we hadn't, so they told us we had to get back to the boat. And I said, can I finish my corn dog or whatever it was I was eating? We finished our food and hitched a ride back home, went to bed at 8 p.m. exhausted, overfed, and a couple of beers in our belly. Alarm set every hour so we could still wake up and check the anchor. Justin says he got up and checked 10 times, but he only heard the alarm twice, so we kept sleep. We were so tired. So Ascension Island is very cool, a volcano island that looks very dry and desert-like except for one lush mountain in the middle, which we haven't seen yet as it's always been covered in cloud. Beautiful white beaches with heaps of massive turtle tracks. The turtles swim 2,000 nautical miles from Brazil to lay their eggs on this beach. How do the turtles even find this island in the middle of nowhere? Last night we went ashore at 10 p.m. and snuck up on a few turtles. It was incredible. Huge, massive things, at least a meter long and 80 centimeters wide and totally solid. It must be such a huge effort to drag themselves up the beach, and then they dig these huge craters of holes to lay their eggs in. They do about 3 movements and then take this big heavy breath and wait for a minute before they carry on. So we'll be here until Tuesday, when we will set sail for Fernando de Noronha, which is an island off the coast of Brazil. So it's very close to the mainland of South America. So the next trip will be 1,100 nautical miles, and hopefully it takes us less than 11 days, but it depends on the wind. And we will, this is to my family and Justin's family. We'll email you again from there. Lots of love, Kim and Justin. What a crazy trip. Hey, how are you guys all doing? Did I keep you entertained for a little while, or did I get boring? Anyway, I'm just trying to fill in the days. I tried to do my homeschool. I've done some homeschooling with the kids this morning. They were actually pretty good. I think we're getting used to it. My little guy doesn't want to concentrate on it too long. He would rather be out there going down the hill and checking on his chickens, and then jumping on the trampoline there behind me, and next minute he's in the driveway with the basketball. So anything to get out of doing his schoolwork, basically. But he's only 7, and that's all right. He's doing all right. How are you guys doing? Did you like my thing about the grey hair? I thought that was hilarious because that's definitely what's happening with me. All right, take care. Enjoy my story. I hope you enjoyed the story, and we'll chat again tomorrow. Bye.